Alrighty, so we're back for war number two against HCAR, I believe. I have a couple buddies in this alliance actually, which makes it even more fun to go against them. I'm going to use Big Boy Boost with the 6 hour boost because I do try to get my fights done early, so that way I can free up the middle of section one, so that way everybody can get moved into section two. I don't have any minis or anything like that, so it makes life a little easier. For me, when I just run the 6 hour boost, don't have to wait on anybody after that, so we just get it done. I'm bringing in iDoom, Hulkling, and the man himself, Mole Man. So this fight is against my buddy Lido, which is pretty awesome. iDoom just counters absolutely everything Bishop does. I think that's the major thing that he was designed for, was just to absolutely ruin Bishop's day. So I just love to backhand people and then knee them in the face with iDoom, which is super cool. Boom, boom. And what I'm doing is I am just baiting out the heavy. So every time I finish with my attack, I basically turtle up, so that way he doesn't throw a special, so I can do that kind of damage, which is just ridiculous. Going into my next fight, it's against a Null, which I have a history with Null absolutely ruining my life. When he was the boss with Unsteady Ground, it was the absolute worst thing I've ever done. But I'm going to take in Mole Man. I am not the greatest Mole Man player, to say the least. With Mole Man, I throw on an invulnerability boost because I don't understand how this is going to work. And yes, insult to injury. Parry didn't work. Purify all his buffs, hit him 5 times and he dies. That's absolutely ridiculous. I don't think that should ever work like that, but here we are. So that was a super cool fight. I had no idea it was going to die that fast. It kind of freaked me out. So pretty easy. After that, I wanted to uh, back out because I was just double checking on some stuff, and I go back into a pretty straightforward fight here with Kitty. I gotta knock her down, but when I do knock her down, she goes into her debuff immune phase, which is kind of annoying. So essentially, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hit her like normal because, as you can see, my damage is pretty dang good. My thought going into this fight is I am going to try to get to her to an SP2, but then once I thought about that, that gets a little tough because then I want to throw a heavy in order to get the damage. So I'm going to get her close to an SP2 with me in SP2, and then I'm just going to turtle. And we're just going to sit here, and we're just going to hit her a few times, turtle, wait until that gets off the debuff immune. I didn't have the shock on her, which makes her passive stunned. So that was bad. That was a bad play. But now we're going to bait out the SP2, super easy to dodge, back up, and now we just do a stupid amount of damage as is because iDoom is ridiculous, and she's dead, just like that. Pretty easy, pretty easy. Now this fight, I was very nervous about. I'm going to get a refill because I need to get this fight done. Um, this one stresses me out every time that I've taken it because I died once to it with iDoom and I shouldn't have. It's a pretty straightforward, easy fight. Uh, so, major thing now that Unsteady Ground is gone and he's not a defender, tactic defender, it makes it a lot easier than what it was. I'm going to throw on an advanced power boost because I want to get to my SP2 when he hits his SP2 so I can just do a crazy amount of damage. Now, the one thing I do need to keep in mind about this fight is I don't want that debuff on me because of insult to injury. So I miss a parry to start. That's great. So, but he throws a heavy, which makes things easy. Just knock him down. Now I see the timer. As you can see, there's a bunch of timers up there. The one, second one from the left was the timer. Now we're second one from the left still. So I'm trying to time that timer when I'm crossing hits of 10. Now this one I thought I had enough time, which you know I didn't, but it's okay. We're fine. He throws his SB2, we get to heavy, and now we're back up to 30. So as you can see, we're third debuff over now, which we just got to make sure that we're close. I'm trying to get him to 2 bars of power, but he decides to throw a special. So now I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to do it a little different this time. I've never really used his SP3 in any situations, but I'm gonna try it out here because it seems like a pretty cool piece of utility, and I'm like, you know what? I want to actually see the damage when it comes out when he's fully boosted. So I bait out another special. As you can see, I have to wait a whole bunch on the timer, but now we can fight, and it's off. And look at that critical burn damage. It is doing so much. So this made me think that maybe I've been playing him wrong on certain nodes. This SP3 damage is kind of nutty. So now we're going to go for a big SP2 here because I'm already in the phase that does even more damage, so we're good there. Everything's looking pretty good now. So as you can see, we still got some time on that timer, and we stop. And I did that way too early in order to stop the debuff, but we're doing good enough damage as is. We got lucky with that parry sticking. As you can see, I stood there a little longer just to make sure that wasn't an insult to injury type of thing like it was with Null. But that fight was pretty straightforward and pretty easy with that. Now, this one, there was some chats in the our all team chat, I guess. I don't know what we call it. But apparently when you're using Hulkling, use power back boost. Now, not I don't usually use those boosts, to be completely honest with you. I don't normally play champions that do. I mean, I've been playing Spidey in my last 5 seasons, I swear. So now what I'm going to do is I want him to turtle up, so that way I can start getting some pierce and I can start doing some damage here. But look at him, he's just being a pest. Nice intercept here. We're critting like crazy, which is super neat. Now we're unblockable. That's golden. So we're just doing damage. Now, Lizer said I want to bait the SP1 because if I get to the SP2 on this node, he's going to throw an extra armor break debuff on me, which is going to make him unblockable for way too long. Now, I was super confused there. I don't understand why I didn't get the unblockable, but it is what it is. We still did a ton of damage, and he turtled up after, so it didn't even matter. And he just goes down like nothing ever happened. Pretty nuts. I was a little nervous he wasn't going to die there, and I was going to have to play him unblockable, but he only had 2% left, so it wouldn't have been too bad. Now, this fight, I know no good. Love that guy, super cool guy. But I was a little nervous here. Carl said, throw your power back boost on. Carl is the best mole man player I think the world has ever seen. So I'm like, alright, you got it. Don't really understand, like, what all I'm supposed to do here. I know I don't really want to get into Frenzy because then I'm not going to shrug the debuffs. I'm going to throw on the Invuln again just because I'm a little nervous. I don't feel super like worried about this, but I just know that Mr. Fantastic, he has a history of just kind of just saying goodnight to anything I try to do. Now, I immediately go into Frenzy. It was okay because I only had one stack, so it went off pretty quick. But now I'm trying to bait the SP2 because that's way easier for me to evade. I don't have to shrug as many things, so I don't have to shrug anything. So no, it's money just like that. And now we're going to just throw our SP2. I'm going to shrug the SP2 debuff, whatever he calls it, his steady passive stuff. Going to go into Frenzy again just to get it over with. Bait another SP2. This fight's going extremely well. It's really nice getting the unblockable every time I shrug something. Super handy. And just like that, he's starting to go down like crazy. I don't have anything in deep wounds. I typically don't play bleeders, until I eventually get Blade on the team or Agent Venom. Um, yeah, my rank 4 Agent Venom, pretty neat. But this is pretty easy fight. He throws his SP1, I shrug it all, so no worries there. And then we're gonna finish it off with a big SP2. So that was my war. 5 fights. 2 of them were the quickest fights I think are humanly possible. So with that being said, pretty good war for us. We're starting out 2-0, which is super awesome. Um, and hopefully we'll get some more good content in the future. Love the fights that just are like the Mole Man where it just didn't make sense, but he died, just kind of fell over, so that was neat. But hopefully we can continue up the streak. We'll talk to you guys later.